Hi, hey, what's up, YouTube? How are you doing? I hope you're living your best life, and whatever that means for you, I hope that's what you're doing. Anyways, I got a lot planned for you guys today, and we are going to be learning all about My Hero Academia from JD's perspective. This isn't going to be a big, long, boring chit chat about another anime. This is going to be a chit chat, hopefully not boring, about a really fucking cool anime that has taught me a lot in my life, and I can't wait to tell you guys about it. So follow me this way. Come on. Let's go. So, over here, if you look to the left of the about board, it says about the episode, or about, the episodes in general. My Hero Academia by, I can't pronounce that name, Japanese manga artist introduces a variety of challenges within the storyline that not only entertains but inspires. That couldn't be more true. That really couldn't be more true. It's seriously entertaining because it has its own way with the characters' personalities and the way that the characters are, that it just makes sense. It's funny, it's inspiring, it's it's people just like on both ends of the spectrum. People who are just maybe I don't think anybody's pure evil, but just evil and good on the other side, fighting against each other for, what's right and what's wrong. And it's absolutely inspiring, very sure. So this is the cover of the hit show My Hero Academia. That is Zuko. I don't know any of the names. I'm going to tell you that right now. They all sound very similar. Deku. Is this Zuko the same thing?
No, Deku is a nickname.
Yeah.
Zuko is his real name.
So yeah, same person. Okay, thank you. And so yeah, Deku is his nickname, Zuko is his real name, and it's pretty fucking cool. So let's move on into a little summary, more in depth about what the show is and, what it has going on. Summary about the show. The story follows a middle school student, Izuku Midoriya, who is obsessed with the strongest and most popular hero, All Might. Midoriya knows everything about All Might, and it's his dream to grow up and become a powerful hero too, so he can make everyone always have a smile on their face. When Midoriya was young, he was waiting to show his signs of a quirk, which is, a superhero that in this world people have now just been born with, different superheroes, or quirks as they like to call them. Most children at that time already had them. His mother was supportive but didn't quite understand his dream of being a powerful hero and wanting to help people. Midoriya's favorite hero is number one right now, All Might. And the top hero at this time, he got a chance to meet him and found out that his power was given to him and he wasn't born with it. So Deku just found out in this point in time, or in the summary that I'm explaining, that the person he looks up to the most, that he's not even born with it. That's not even a natural quirk. That's not normal. As everybody's born with their quirk, whatever it may be, and he just found out that the person he looks up to the most, it's not even real. You know what I mean? So he doesn't know what to think. They become close, and All Might see something in Midoriya that is special, and then chooses to give him the power, making him his legacy. Midoriya gets accepted into hero school and begins to make friends with so many people and cool personalities and quirks. While all this is occurring, Midoriya gets better and is trying to use his new quirk he has been given. So All Might, he was given his quirk, who is the number one hero, okay? And then All Might, the number one hero, chose to give it to Midoriya, which is a big deal. To give his quirk, his power, this, you know, maybe arguably the strongest, you know, quirk ever. Doesn't, you know, you're not even born with it. So probably because this quirk has been passed down from generation to generation, therefore making it stronger as each person gets the quirk. You know what I mean? So every single person that has gotten this quirk or has received this quirk is now a part of the quirk. His friends have given him his friends have his back and also share his need to help people. Midoriya is not only taken back by everyone, but they're also with him. He continues to inspire people every challenge he is given and gets stronger as time goes on. Now that's just a little summary, obviously. Now with each people, you know, people that they fight or things that happen, you're just going to have to watch it. I don't want to ruin it for anybody that is already watching it, obviously. But it is absolutely amazing. So we are going to proceed. So this is the slight plan. This is the research that I have. I'm not going to go in depth and to each and every single one of them, but just to touch on everything. We went over this. We went over the summary of the show. He wants to make the world where everyone smiles. He wants to make a world where everyone smiles and lives together happily. For that to happen, people need a symbol of peace. The reason crime is on the rise everywhere is because citizens have no one to believe in. They need to rely on someone. That's why I want to be a pillar that gives people hope. He wants to be there. He wants to help people. You know, that's really all he wants to do, and that's All Might. For those of you who don't, that's a quote from All Might. That is Midoriya's #1 favorite hero. And everybody who has had this quirk that has been passed down to them, All Might quirk, I guess you can call it. It's called something. It's called, I forgot. That's an important thing, and I just forgot. But anyways, he just wants to help people. He feels that the, evil and bad things are happening so much like they are because no one has anybody to look up to. There's no one to look up to and say, you know what, like somebody who's real. A lot of people say God or my God or whatever you want to put. But in reality, that's not tangible. People want something to look up to. People want something to look at and say, that gives me hope, And I love this show because it really puts that into perspective and puts it into light, how important it is to be, inspiring and to be a model, a role model, a good and positive role model. We have a video. That we show. Oh, never mind. Those are to get my bases down. So as Deku becomes more accustomed to his life at UA, he begins to come across other characters with their own thoughts, goals, and emotional baggage regarding heroes. And so as he goes and you can imagine he goes through experience after experience. It only makes him stronger, and it just gives him more of a reason to fight and more of a reason to be that pillar of hope that people need. The League of Villains attacked with the intent to capture Bakugo. Bakugo is one of Deku's classmates. They don't like each other, or Bakugo doesn't like Deku, but they ended up being okay. But anyways, so the League of Villains attacked with the intent to capture him and to turn him against the good guys. Bakugo is a very angry child that has known Midoriya since they were kids. He also bullies him a lot. So now with that little bit of background, keep in mind that Bakugo wants to be a hero too. He wants to be the number one hero. Deku wants to be the number one hero. Shoto wants to be the number one hero. Shoto is one of the figures that I have. They all want to be the number one hero, which that causes its own things. So this goes into a little a little more in depth. At said boot camp, the League of Villains attacked with the intent to capture Bakugo. It's here where we meet some fan favorite villains, including the fire user Dabi and the giddy serial killer Toga. You guys remember Toga is one of my figures, and Toga is on the League of Villains, and I'm not exactly sure the main reason. I forgot, and I probably should have freaking had that here, but she just felt she was a part of a different evil. I forgot their name too, but she was a part of a different group, and then they merged together. So now she's a part of League of Villains because she's also really good friends with Twice, who is also a League of Villains member. But anyways, and the multiplier Twice, yes. While many of the villains were defeated and captured, Bakugo was still abducted. So they ended up taking Bakugo. They ended up taking him completely. So it's already on the plan of turning him against everyone on the good side. And the league attempts to convert Bakugo, but it didn't go as planned. While Bakugo is loud and abrasive, his desire to be the best hero is unshakable. Elsewhere, Deku and some of his classmates attempt to rescue Bakugo. So they ended up taking him, try to convert him. It doesn't work because Bakugo is just a fucking good guy, and they ended up getting a plan. They ended up getting him back. So, that's what that explains in the research portion of it. Why does that matter? That adds to the depth. So Deku is a boy who just found out his number one hero. He wasn't really born with it. It was given to him. And then his favorite hero decides to give him that power, that number one hero power, that, which is what put him where he's at today. And so then he gets accepted into school, meets all of these people, Bakugo, I forget all their fucking names, don't blame me, or whatever. He meets all these friends and all these people, and then at their first thing, essentially, the League of Villains comes in and goes boom, and they meet the League of Villains, and they realize how crazy and strong and evil that they are, and what they could possibly do. But at this given point, at the beginning, it wasn't that bad. I lost my quirk, and my master passed away. I'm in no state of mind to be smiling, but that's exactly why. 'Cause Night Eye, I know, was stern with you, but he smiled a lot when the two of us got to talking. I can't be all weepy. Not when I'm supposed to be a fine hero someday. And if I get gloomy, well, that'll hurt Eri too. Eri is a little girl with a very powerful quirk that ends up helping a lot of people. And that is from Mirio. Mirio he's a very strong hero who always has a smile on his face and has always stayed strong. And I forgot what season, but he ends up losing his quirk. When people get used to their quirks and they end up getting strong with their quirks, it's a big deal. You grow with your quirk. You know what I mean? You grow with the quirk. And for Mirio to have his quirk completely gone and he's still smiling, to show and be that example, he lost who he was, essentially. It's a big deal. Now, he ends up getting his quirk back and stuff like that, but, you know, I can't go into that. So now that we got a good overview of, you know, what happens in this show and what's going on in this show, we're going to move on into the introduction here, that we're going to explain more of the characters, which is more of why I watch it, is because of the characters. Welcome in, everyone, and thank you for tuning into my podcast, Desire to Inspire, where we will be talking about My Hero Academia and learning that it is entertaining and inspiring, which is my point, is that it's entertaining and inspiring. It's fun to watch. It's fun to watch the highs, it's fun to watch the lows, and that provides inspiration for me, you know, people that aren't so powerful. So let's watch a good overview.
My Hero Academia is a phenomenal anime series, and we're here to walk you back through every need-to-know moment from Season 1 to Season 3. And before we get started, be sure to follow and like Funimation everywhere for more anime videos like this. Whether you're just hopping on the bandwagon or need a refresher before you binge the newest season, this is everything you need to know in 10 minutes or less. The series introduces us to a near-future world where 80% of the population has developed abilities called quirks, which means 20% of the people are born completely normal. And in this society of heroes, normal totally sucks. That's where Izuku Midoriya, also known as Deku, comes in. He's wanted to be a hero all his life, but he doesn't have a quirk, and everyone laughs at him for it, especially this guy, Bakugo. In an amazing twist of fate, Deku's life is saved by the #1 hero, All Might. But what should have been an uplifting encounter proves that All Might isn't all that he seems to be, and even he doesn't believe in Deku. But All Might changes his mind when Deku jumps into the fray to save Bakugo when no one else would. With that show of bravery, All Might decides to pass on his quirk, which is totally not a normal thing, even for quirk users to do. And that secret is one of the biggest driving forces in the series. All Might helps Deku go from fluff to buff in a training montage that ends with a mouthful of hair and a ridiculously brutal entrance exam to the UA high school. And he gets in, along with a bunch of other hero hopefuls, and they're put to the test straight away by their teachers. Everyone gets a cool costume made by professional designers, except Deku, who loves his mom. The students show off their quirks in an over-the-top lesson that ends with Deku teaching Bakugo a thing or two. Class 1A picks a president and a VP. As you can expect, it's Ida and Momo.
So that was why I had that video on there, was, oh shit, sorry, I was being loud. That's why I had that video on there, was because that moment, you just watch it with your own eyes, and that was that happened in there. So let's talk about the characters that I want to talk about, the 3 characters that were brought up in the first few minutes of that video. And first, speaking about Midoriya. So in the video, he's quirkless. He wasn't born with a quirk, and if you're not born with a quirk in this world, it's weird and not, like, it's looked down upon, you know, because everybody has a quirk. So he's quirkless. He's very pure. He's a great guy. He just has good intentions, and he just wants to help people and make the world a better place. And he loves his mother. That is another thing that she mentioned. She mentioned in the video as well. Everybody was getting their what is it called? Their uniforms, their outfits or whatever. And his mom made him his outfit, and he loves his mom, so he wore that. He had a up and down relationship with his mom at the same time, but. So what drives him? His friends and family and helping people. So this character, Midoriya, Deku, he's literally perfect, okay? Ideally perfect. And, well, what I would consider perfect, which is hence my perspective, perfect. Like, he's always doing the right thing. He can't do the wrong thing even if he tried. You know, it's just crazy. It's crazy, but that is his normal. that is his normal. He's quirkless and he doesn't have any powers, and as shitty as that is, he still chooses to smile and make the world a brighter place. You know, how is he so good at just doing everything? How is he so good at just being pure? How is he so good at being a good person? You know what I mean? Even when people bring him down, including Bakugo, who we will talk about, even when people bring him down, and people bring him down constantly, all the time, people bring him down, how is he still able to get up? You know? How does he just get up? Because he knows that that's what needs to be done. It's just, he knows it's what needs to be done, and he just does it. It's not hard for him to do the right thing at all, which is absolutely amazing. And that's, you know, these are just many of the reasons that I absolutely love Midoriya Deku, also known as Deku. Moving on into Bakugo. So Bakugo and Deku have grown up together, and you know, Bakugo does not like him, and Deku is so nice to him all of the time that it probably, you know, it makes him angry as well. Midoriya is better than him, which is very true in a lot of ways, and that angers Bakugo. Annoying. Why does he hate Midoriya? Because he's better than him and annoying. Bakugo is a very angry child and wants to be number one. He has his own reasons, and in the show it goes over just a few of, you know, the reasons of why Bakugo is the way he is, and he's just an angry kid. He's always been an angry kid. Some kids are just angry, and sometimes there is no reason for it. They're just upset and confused, and whenever they get confused, they get angry, and that happens a lot more than you realize. When humans get confused, a lot of them choose to get angry, and Bakugo is one of those kids. Not only does the anger, you know, hurt him in a lot of ways, it builds, it strengthens his quirk, it strengthens his ability, it strengthens everything about him. And when he's making friends as well as Midoriya and everything, and Midoriya, of course, is rubbing off on him left and right. Oh, rubbing off on, that sounds bad. Rubbing off on him left and right. Meaning, like, Midoriya saved Bakugo, and Bakugo saved Midoriya, back and forth. They care about each other. They do care about each other. Like brothers, you know, brothers that just never get along. But why is Bakugo just so cool? He, as much anger as he just naturally has within him and inside of him, he still manages to push through that light of happiness or that kindness that you don't usually get to see, which is still really nice. And there are a lot of people out there in the world that are very much like a Bakugo, where, you know, like, you're nice, but you're not gonna go around showing that left and right, you know. It's pretty cool. It is pretty cool. So we talked about Midoriya, we talked about Bakugo, we talked about the relationship, especially in the beginning where Midoriya saved Bakugo, as we saw in the video. And who else was in that? All Might, fucking Midoriya's #1 favorite hero. All Might is determined, he is kind-hearted. What is important to All Might? Being a pillar of hope and making sure everyone smiles. He just wants to help people. And there are obviously many times in the beginning of the show where All Might is, he just, so, fuck, what was his name? Fuck, I forgot his name. But, shit, that's like the worst thing to forget. It's like the #1, like the villain, like the #1 villain. And come to find out that his power comes from, the opposite power. You know, he's number one good hero, but on the opposite of that, where his power has come from, the evil villain, I forgot his name, he's a part of that. Shh. Yeah, but he just wants to make sure that everybody smiles and that everybody has somebody to look up to, has a pillar of hope to look up to. You know, it's a beautiful thing, and it's inspiring. It's entertaining. It's entertaining, obviously, because of all of the ups and downs. It's very much like life. You know, how can we be all of these characters at once? How can we be a Midoriya every time we need to get up because we know it's the right thing to do, when we are a Bakugo just because we're so fucking angry at what the world has given us? Or when we choose to be an All Might, and we choose to be an All Might, and you choose to be that pillar of hope, no matter what happens or what comes in your way. You know what I mean? Don't let things stop you. Don't let anything stop you. You know what I mean? If you're serious about something, then be serious about it. If you want to be friends with somebody, then be friends with them. You know what I mean? If you say one thing and your actions are doing another, then you need to look within yourself and realize what you really want. And that's hard, but it's possible. It is possible. So, in conclusion, we have learned about that the show is not only so freaking cool and extremely complicated in a lot of different ways, because we have Midoriya, Bakugo, and All Might all working together to make the world a better place, which is amazing with all of their different qualities and quirks. And we learn that it's entertaining, but it's also inspiring to remind us to always get up when we need to get up, because that's just what needs to happen. You need to get up because that's what has to go, what has to occur. And always be reminded that it's okay to be angry. It's okay to be fucking upset about what life has given you, what life has chosen to offer you. You know, you can be angry. You know, why is everything so shit for me, or whatever the case. If you can say that for yourself, you say that for Bakugo, it's okay to be angry. Focus that anger somewhere else. Focus that anger to make you better, to make people better. Not only that, but we also learn about All Might, and what we learn from All Might is to be that pillar of hope. Be that example. You know, everybody wants to talk about how this is so hard and that is so hard and this sucks and that sucks. Well, you know what? He's been through a lot of shit. All Might has been through a lot of shit. And he doesn't choose to feel sorry for himself. He chooses to get the fuck up and be a pillar of hope for other people, to know, to show them that it's possible, to not be so fucking like in yourself. You know what I mean? To not be so fucking selfish. You know what I mean? There's a place for that. And in conclusion, we learn how entertaining and inspiring this show can be, and what it can teach you. It teaches you balance, which is what we're going to be learning next week as well. It's absolutely amazing, and I hope that you guys loved this as much as I do, you know? So, we are going to... What's the intro? That is the intro. I have another
This video originally aired as part of Teching 101's charity stream to benefit the Children's Tumor Foundation. Please check the link in the description to learn more, and be sure to show Teching 101 some love. He is genuinely one of the coolest and nicest people on YouTube. What is up, everybody? It's Animac here for Anime Uproar, and in this video we will be talking about the one thing that we can learn from almost all shonen protagonists. And this one thing is an absolute sports anime. The protagonist usually wants to be the best he can be, or for his team to do as well as possible. And the MC and food want to be the best this or the greatest that. It is actually extremely important for human beings to have a clear purpose to their lives. From the philosophers of ancient Greece like Plato and Aristotle, and Romans like Epictetus and Marcus Aurelius, to modern day, then you need to get a job and make money, chances are that you will feel pressured to do something that you don't want to do, and you won't be happy. Even if you do get a good job and make lots of money, you may be doing something that you hate. And if you can't cope with the pressure to find that high-paying job, you may withdraw from society altogether, becoming a permanent NEET or even a hikikomori. Japan obviously has an issue with this type of strict social pressure having a negative impact on some segments of society. But this pressure is present in other nations as well. And this is where the shonen protagonists come in. Each and every one of us, regardless of what other people are telling us or expecting from us, needs to stop and think. What do we really want to do in life? What makes us happy? What is our purpose? In this sense, shonen protagonists are great role models because they often have that clear purpose. Sometimes it is an unconventional purpose, a purpose that breaks the mold of society. Like, for example, Deku wanting to be the strongest hero even though he is quirkless, or Asta wanting to be the Wizard King even though he has no magic. If these guys were just listening to everyone around them and following the norms of their society, they would have given up on their dreams and gotten regular jobs that might not make them happy, but would make them enough money to lead a normal life. And of course, eventually these two protagonists get lucky thanks to plot convenience, and Deku inherits a quirk that makes him strong, while Asta gets the ability to use anti-magic to nullify the magic of others. But while that is definitely plot convenience, the fact is that if Deku and Asta had given up on their dreams after realizing that they had no natural abilities, they never would have been in the position to get lucky in the first place. Back when my brother Gozen and I started working on our YouTube channel together, I was in school studying a completely unrelated field, and I had no knowledge.
Alright, no one cares about you. No, I'm just kidding. But anyways, in conclusion, guys, this is a really freaking awesome show, and if you haven't seen it, I definitely recommend watching it. And it is just really good. I love it. I absolutely love it. So in conclusion, in final conclusion, it's inspiring. It's inspiring, you know? Even when all of the odds are against you, it is still possible to come out strong and to come out fucking banging, you know? So don't give up. What should you take from this? Don't give up. Life gets hard sometimes, yeah. What are you gonna do? Sit down and cry about it? You know what I mean? Yeah, sit down and cry about it, and then just get back up. Just get back up and figure out your next move. It's that simple. It sounds simple, but it's not simple at all. Thank you guys so much for watching my podcast, Talks with Rocks, and my Hero Academia episode. This episode could have gone a little bit smoother, but I'm very happy with how it is gone. Thank you guys so much for being super understanding about my schedule and about how much I have going on right now. I'm still able to put this out, and I really appreciate it, and I can't freaking wait for tomorrow, because there's another one. It'll be about Shark Tank. It's gonna be awesome. Thank you guys.